You're listening to episode 61 of the Let's Go Comic Show. On this episode, we talk about the WB DC Entertainment shakeup, Wonder Woman 84, and we smell the flowers.
This is episode 61 of the Let's Go Comic Show. My name is Justin.
I am Matt.
And holy nuts, there's so much to talk about, dude.
Hey, you know, it's a special occasion, though.
It is a special occasion. Today is...
It's Chris Evans' birthday.
Happy birthday, Chris Evans.
Which, but, you know, what's funny is the way that I found this out on Twitter was Edgar Wright posted about how much he enjoyed making all of these action movies with him. And it was all of the fake movie posters from Scott Pilgrim versus the World with his character.
Oh my gosh. I totally forgot about that.
It was Lee something, right? Like,
yeah, I forget. Dude,
they are
Scott Pilgrim.
Hilarious.
That was a fun movie. So dude, Matt bringing up some fun stuff.
What a way to celebrate Chris Evans' birthday.
I love it. I love it. I think it's also the anniversary of Man of Steel.
Whoa.
5 years of Man of Steel coming out.
Maybe a little less exciting to some people.
To me, I remember today at my Facebook, you know how it says, on this day, there's a picture of me wearing Superman socks saying, getting ready for Man of Steel tonight.
Oh, man.
So
you didn't even know what you were getting yourself into.
I still remember liking it, and I still remember having like kind of an argument conversation with Dex outside the theater. He was like, why did he break his neck? And we're like, because he had to. Nah, man, he didn't have to break his neck. And I was like, okay. Well, he did have to break his neck.
So Lucas Lee was the name of
Lucas
Chris
Lee.
Evans' character in Scott Pilgrim. And so here are the posters. Action Doctor. You just don't exist.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that's so funny. And let's hope there's a heaven. With the tagline, kiss me, I'm dying. And then the game is over too. One good cop is finished fooling around again.
My favorite is Action Doctor because it's all check your pulse.
Oh, and there's also thrilled to be here. Spencer J is awesome. You're welcome.
He's got the best like goofy eyebrow like arch.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Like it's in every poster.
For sure.
The same beard. So the game is over.
What a great character. I feel like that was one of the first things that redeemed him in my mind from just being goofy Human Torch that I didn't care about.
Now these are all apes off of other posters. Like Thrill to Be Here is like Fast and Furious, and there's like Mission Impossible looking ones.
Yeah. Dude, so good.
Let's hope there's a heaven.
Like a Nicholas Sparks. Like
yeah. And he has the same beard in every single one.
It's like that chin strap bro beard.
It is, dude. It's so good.
Thank you, Edgar Wright and Chris Evans.
Yeah, that was good. That was a nice little start to the show. Cheers and happy birthday, Chris Evans. Lucas Lee should be Captain America. Lucas Lee is Captain America
with the beard.
I could do this all day.
Oh man, Scott Pilgrim was so good, man.
Yeah, that was a fun movie. Oh, it could have been Ant-Man. All right. I'm excited for Ant-Man 2, kind of, though. Remember, I was warm. I'm like, okay, I'll go watch it. I'm going to watch it. Movie pass. So,
dude, Incredibles 2 comes out this weekend, too.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked about that.
I'm okay. I'm not like...
Wow.
I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to go see Incredibles 2. It's Father's Day. I'm like, I can't wait to barbecue and have a beer. That's what I'm looking forward to.
That is, I also look forward to that.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not making any promises in Incredibles 2. You know, dude. I asked my kids if they want to see it, and they said, yeah. So like I can tell you, it wasn't like, yeah, let's go, Dad. They were like,
Did you not like the first one?
Oh, I like the first one a lot.
That's like my favorite.
Is it? It's my favorite Pixar. I'm just not as excited to go see that. Like I'm excited for Lego Movie 2.
Oh, dude, that trailer was so good.
Freaking great. Yeah, so
Speaking of awesome trailers.
Yeah, speaking of awesome trailers.
Into the Spider-Verse. We got a new trailer last week as well.
Yeah, that was great.
The show.
Oh, dude.
Oh, my goodness.
Didn't we talk about that? No?
No.
I thought we talked about it. We watched it together, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that was good. that was a good trailer. Like, I'm pumped for that. That looks fun.
Yeah. The way they're bringing in other characters and stuff, like even though it's Miles' story, like
I like
really
the old
good.
Spider-Man. I like the old Peter Parker.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. And then Gwenpool, like whatever, not Gwenpool, Spider-Gwen. She shows up.
Yeah, they're all the same. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, but that looks awesome.
Yeah, I think the animation looks great. I like the quick flashes of like comic line art in some of it. Oh, yeah, I'm really excited for that. I hope that explodes. And it kind of makes me like bummed how they hint at like Miles Morales may not be Spider-Man no anymore in the comics. And I was actually reading some Miles Morales last night because I forgot I bought all this Marvel stuff on a sale they had like a month back.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I bought that like Miles Morales collection. So like, I don't even know what part of the issues. It's closer to the end of the run because he's just like debating with Ganke about like, oh man, I don't know if I want to be Spider-Man anymore. Like, you shouldn't be Spider-Man. I'm like, what the crap? Anyways,
he's gonna be his own man.
He's his own man. Spider-Man. He was like, what if Peter Parker never was Spider-Man? Would you be Spider-Man? He's like, I got spider powers. So, anyways, he's like, you're living someone else's legacy, and it's like, it's
shut up, dude.
Definitely like okay, you have some points, but I like your costume. You have a good Spider-Man costume.
Yeah.
All right,
dude. That's fine. Hey, but welcome everybody to
welcome.
Let's Go Comic Show, where we talk about comics, comic book movies, comic book TV shows, comic books,
everything,
and comic book writers.
Comic books. Hey, Manzi, did we check that any comic book
comic book?
Yes.
Comics. Comic chameleon.
Yeah. Oh, we should do oh, that would have been a way better song. All right. So, man, I really just wanted to talk about comic books today, but frickin' DC Entertainment
so much different
dropped so much crap last week or this week. So let's just jump into it, you guys. First off,
yesterday.
Yeah. First off, how are we gonna rate this stuff, dude?
Oh, dude, why don't you take a shot at this one?
I'll take a shot today. So we are gonna do it on our rating scale. It is the Let's Go time tested, mother approved rating scale of a gotta go means it is the best. Yeah, just like kicks. It just won't hurt the roof of your mouth. The gotta go means it is the best of the best. So good, it's better than the show. A let's go is like, you should do that. Why are you not doing that? Then there's a go. It's like, hey, not for everybody, but I'm saying you should check it out. Maybe borrow it from your friend. And then there's the don't go. Like, why'd you do that? We told you not to do that. Why did you go and purchase that? And then there's the trash juice.
Indeed.
All right, there we go. We good?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's get into it. Okay, so Matt, there's some crazy stuff going on. So first thing off, like, so Diane Nelson just gets the boot, like,
WB Entertainment president, right?
DC Comics.
DC Comics.
She was the president of DC Comics, like
Entertainment,
DC Entertainment. Yeah, and so she got the boot.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, she was already on some type of sabbatical leave, and so
they said no, she wasn't coming back from it.
Yeah, so she was the president of DC since 2009, and then she became like president and chief content officer of Warner Brothers since 2013, and so that
was around the same time that Jeff Johns was made chief creative officer as well.
Yeah.
Right?
And so they kind of worked hand in hand. There was a little thing earlier in, I think it was. It could have been early fall of last year where she kind of wrote this like Facebook like thing that went out, and she was like, "Oh, I lost my friend. My best friend's moving." It was when Jeff Johns was changing roles or something. And anyways, she is now done. So I guess it says she after leave. It's saying that she resigned as DC Entertainment president. So. There's different places reported different things, and so a lot of this is the fallout of some of these DC movies not hitting, and so the second part of that
primarily Justice League,
but that's just tacked on to the underperformance of BVS, which again it made $800+ million, but
still pretty good. But it was expected to make more.
Yeah,
they was
wanted
really the first one that they kind of launched with this crew, right?
In
2013.
Yeah, in 2013. So yeah, anyway, so she left, and then this week they announced that Jeff Johns is moving out of his current role, which means we don't want you to do this anymore. So, which, as we were kind of talking about it before the show, I think it's the best thing for Jeff Johns. He's a fantastic. I love everything like he's written. I think I've probably read most things that he's written. Like if I haven't, it's very few and far between. It may have been a couple issues of like, Justice League I didn't read in New 52, or some of the Booster Gold stuff. Like I read most of it, but everything that I have read by this guy has been great. And so I'm really excited to see him have his own production company and just write stories, write good stuff. A lot of people have been blaming him for like Justice League. Like if you go on the Twitter, you'll see a lot of people who the Snyder Cut guys, which by the way, if there's a Snyder Cut, great. But like they just won't give up. It's like this relentless release the Snyder Cut. Anyways, these guys they've gone from blaming Joss Whedon, so now they're blaming Jeff Johns, and like what they need to understand is this is a gigantic like machine. Like you can't blame just one person. Right. It's just
no one person is completely responsible for any of these movies.
And so, if this movie was a mess in the beginning, there's very little you can do, and he probably did what was asked of him, right?
Yeah, so and he was a part of Wonder Woman though as well.
Yeah, and that's the one. Well, and that's the one that. So Patty Jenkins, who said, Jeff was great the entire time, like was super helpful when making this movie. So we don't know yet, dude. We really don't. Like when Aquaman comes out, we'll see.
Because that seems like one that he was really a lot more hands-on with, right?
Well, a lot of it's based on some of his New 52 stuff with Aquaman, which was really fun. Like that was one of the New 52 titles that was good was Aquaman.
Absolutely.
Out the gate, because I think that thing started before New 52. I think he just started writing it, Brightest Day stuff.
And he's developed all of the TV side of things, which love it or not.
You're not going to be doing me any favors when you start bringing that up.
But here's what I would say about that, though. It is successful.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care for the way it's done, but the fact that it's getting made and the fact that so many people are watching it and enjoying it.
Yeah.
That there's something there. And that's more to say, like, it's not like he's turning out like turds the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's not.
And so I think, but here's the thing, though, with Jeff Johns. And I think when I saw this change in 2013, I was excited because of the stories he had done before, because of his passion for all these different characters.
Yeah.
That he was going to be able to guide things in a way that I think he ended up never really being able to.
Yeah, I don't think he hasn't. He's never been the Kevin Feige. Everyone's like, Jeff Johns should be the Kevin Feige. And here's the thing, Warner Brothers doesn't run that way, and they can't run that way. I think he could be
if they were interested in running things that way.
Yeah, if they wanted to. He definitely could be. I don't think
you can see that potential in the way he guided Rebirth. Yeah. And that's been pretty dang good, and it's been pretty dang successful.
Mm-hmm. There was an article, I'm probably wrong, and I think it was in Vulture in the summertime of last year, and there was a whole interview with Diane Nelson and Jeff Johns, and they're kind of talking about like some of the missteps of the DC Films universe that they started. And even in the beginning, like there was notes they made on Man of Steel, like they said, we shouldn't do that. And they went ahead and did it. And so some of these things that they're correcting are kind of like, did they listen? And so maybe they should have listened. I really don't know. Like he even kind of said the direction they went in with like BVS, little dark, more kind of went darker than what we should have went. But he's also a team player. Like, hey man, like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
what is he heading into though in this change of role?
Yeah. So what he's changed, he's having his own production company. He's excited to be writing these characters, being on set more. Those are some of the things he said. The first project it will be Green Lantern Corps. So he's actually going to be writing that and producing. Yeah. So for me, I kind of see it as a way for him to be vindicated for the 2011 Green Lantern movie.
I would love to see that. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Remember when that came out, all of a sudden there was a point in the middle of production, they're like, oh, Jeff Johns is going to be on set now. He's helping out. And so people said, oh, Jeff Johns made this movie. And like, he didn't make this movie.
I remember being at Comic-Con the year after that, and someone asked about something, and he was like, yeah, Mark Strong was really great as Sinestro.
I remember that.
It was like his one comment that he made, and I was like, dang, dude.
Yeah. I don't think they, took his notes.
And he's having to be like the company man and like take a hit for that. Like, it's really what it felt like. I mean, who knows? Maybe he did make it suck. I don't know. Yeah. But I think on the producing side of things, he's also helping. He's already writing and producing Wonder Woman 2. Mm-hmm. He'll have co-writing and executive producing credit on Aquaman as well. So, I mean, he's still definitely involved in things that are already in the works. Yeah. But the main change, it seems like, is he's going to be able to not have to be limited anymore on the comic book, like the publishing side of things as far as content creation. I'd also be wondering, I'm wondering does this free up Doomsday Clock a little bit to maybe get back on track.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Because that would be nice.
But yeah, I'd love for it to be over next year.
It would be wonderful to get through that story.
Yeah.
And maybe get me interested in it again. But you have, on the publishing side, I'm reading this from Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah.
Says he'll write and curate a DC pop-up label under the moniker The Killing Zone, focusing on new
Which I
and
hate that
lesser
name,
known.
by
It's dumb.
Yeah, it's a dumb name.
But it is focusing on new and lesser known or dormant DC characters and titles, which is like everything he's always been interested in. I feel like is like, hey, I'm going to take this character, I'm going to make it make sense and meaningful again.
Yeah.
He'll also write a new Shazam comic series, which please put Doc Shaner on that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Or Chris Samney. I would settle for that too.
Oh, that'd be great.
He's not doing anything right. Scheduled to be this fall. So that Shazam book, as well as a comic titled Three Jokers, drawn by Jason.
Well, they rumored that before,
right? But now to hear that that's coming in the fall as well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that was something specifically they say that was sidelined because his time was taken up by executive and all these other commitments.
Yeah.
So it seems like what we wanted is for Jeff's enthusiasm and his knowledge of the characters to really influence things, and I think it never really got there. So maybe his focus and his lane is just content creation.
Yeah, it might be. You know, it may have been like this thing. Oh, I'd love to do that, and it was just.
Yeah.
I think you have to be more cutthroat in Hollywood. And Jeff Johns doesn't seem like
nice.
Yeah, he just seems like a nice guy who he cares about these characters. He just wants to write cool stories. Yeah. So let him write cool stories.
Yep.
You know,
dude, get him, Scott Snyder, Tom King, and like Brian Bendis, like in a room.
That's one of the things they even said. Brian Bendis coming over there was like an avenue for him to get involved with some of the entertainment side of it.
Yeah.
After reading some of the Man of Steel stuff,
dude,
I'm not loving all the Man of Steel stuff he's been doing lately. Well, we'll see. The other side of this coin is Jim Lee taking over. We'll assume the chief creative position. What does that mean? Does that mean he's like, hey guys?
Means he designs less characters. That's what I would hope. Maybe
he designs. Maybe he's like, hey, for the next Wonder Woman movie, pouches. Now, if Wonder Woman was in 1994 and not 1984. Maybe that works. Maybe we can get some more cargo shorts and whatever. So, anyways,
holsters everywhere.
What do you think about this? What would you say this Jeff Johns news? Is it a let's go? What would you give it? How would you rate it?
I'm optimistic about it. I think there could be, as there usually is, a lot of things under the surface that we don't know about. And maybe it's a power play thing, and maybe like
I feel like there's a little bit. I think there's a little bit of that.
To tuck him to the side because they don't like how things have gone.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, if they're doing it in a way where I'm going to get some really awesome content for characters that I really care about.
Yeah.
And ones that maybe he's going to make me care about. That's a let's go, man. I'm looking forward to all of this stuff. Between this and some of the other news we'll talk about, like the fall is shaping up to look really, really good.
Yeah. So my final thoughts on this are... You know what? There's always more than meets the eye with Hollywood stuff. They're never going to say this sucked. I feel like there's a little bit of like behind the scenes, like we don't want you in this role. We still like you. Just write stories and let's see how So here, go out and produce some stuff and let's make it happen.
Yeah.
And so I hope for the best. So on that note, it's a let's go.
Yes.
Jeff Johns, write good comics, and I still have a little soft warm spot for Jeff Johns in my heart because he sent me autographed comics.
Yeah.
Because I complained about a comic book one time, and he did. Thank you, AOL message boards, for connecting people. So Jeff Johns is a let's go in my heart. So all right. So yeah, I was just gonna say as we segue into some of the news, Wonder Woman 84.
Indeed,
dude. So they go into production. I think like today. I believe they go into production today. And so they released a whole bunch of just today footage. Just not footage, but behind the scenes photos.
A couple of photos.
Yeah, which I think is super smart because
what you don't want... spoilers for the first movie, by the way.
Yeah.
So skip past this part. If you haven't watched Wonder Woman, you don't want to be spoiled for the ending of that movie.
Yeah.
Go.
So one of the first things that they do is they put a photo of Welcome to Wonder Woman 1984, Steve Trevor, and people are like, what the crap? Because there's Steve Trevor in his like 1980s like jogging suit.
Yeah, and that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Like his death, again, we warned you for spoilers.
Yeah.
But his death at the end of the movie was a pretty key emotional and plot point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it was a thing. And so to see like he's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What's your take on this, Justin? Like, how do you feel about it? And how do you feel like this works out story-wise? Like, how's he there?
A couple things go into it. I trust Patty Jenkins to tell a good story. I trust that if she wants Steve Trevor to come back, cool. Or maybe it's not what we've seen. I mean, what it seems. I don't know. I don't know what to think. But I'm not going to get upset. It's not something.
Oh, no, I don't think you should get upset.
Well, there's people that are upset, dude. Twitter, dude.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's people like, they said this Moen dies. I guess it's Marvel. Like, you see ridiculous, crazy things out there. Yeah, it's stupid. I just see like, let's see what happens. Like, it could be a relative. It could be him. He could have freaking got like, mother box to 1984. I don't know, dude. Who knows? It could be like a ghost and she sees him. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be really dumb, by the way.
A few options. You could have like she just sees him like he's there, and
he's wearing 1980s stuff. So
he's wearing 80s stuff.
Yeah, so he's probably there.
I mean, he could be there, or
he looks confused.
Okay, so in the first movie,
yeah,
he gets healed by taking a bath in the mascara.
Oh shoot!
So I wonder. I mean, maybe that slows down his aging. Who knows?
Matt Ritchie deep.
Because it's been like 70 years at this point, right? Somewhere around there. Or you could do the classic like cheesy 70s thing of like it's actually his grandson and it's played by the same actor.
Yeah, but then that means I don't know. That means he must.
Those seem like the most probable things to me.
Yeah. I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to find out in November of 2019.
But what does get me excited with this and the other photo of Wonder Woman, of Diana, rather, standing in front of a wall of TVs playing 80s stuff, is just like the first movie felt very much like really in that time frame.
Yeah.
This really feels 80s, and just these two pictures look wonderful.
I like it. Yeah, both photos are really cool. They kind of give you a feeling. Like a couple of weeks ago, like her and Jeff Johns had this WW84 like banner on their 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 Twitter timelines, and obviously that was kind of like Wonder Woman 84. It's confirming the 80 rumor. So it looks great. I'm excited for it.
Me too.
I was
Love
listening.
The first movie.
Yeah, on the way over here today, I was listening to like 80 songs. As like I wonder what the soundtrack's
getting in the mood.
I was getting in the mood, and when you think of like 1984, there's also the 1984 like book, and is there going to be themes that they're tapping into from
dang,
that?
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then she's kind of staring at these TVs. Is there like a Big Brother angle to it? Like, I don't know. What is Wonder Woman doing?
Yeah, and how does Cheetah factor into all that?
Cheetah, cool. and there's another, and they actually put out a Warner Brothers put a press release out for it, which they
nice.
This is like an official thing, and so there's another actor who's a part of it, and they're not saying who's
playing.
Yeah, who he's playing. And it's kind of
it's
like
Ares.
It's Ares. No, it's not Ares. So I'm like, is it like Dr. Psycho, the little midget like crazy guy that Wonder Woman deals with, or is it?
Yeah, who knows, man?
Who knows? So
again, like just like you said, like I'm good to wait and find out and see.
I can't wait.
See what it is.
Can't wait. November 2019. Let's do it.
November of 2019.
November of 2019.
Gosh, that's so far away.
It's so far away, but it's not.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it is, but
it's not that far away.
What's
some more Tom King comics coming in this fall?
Oh man.
So he's been dropping hints both at cons and in story and in books, right?
Yeah.
About a location called Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Where superheroes and people in the DC universe go to deal with trauma and experiencing violence on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Which just the idea of that is kind of brilliant to have that angle to take. Because it feels like it brings it into the real world without really bringing it into the real world.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have confirmation that that's leading to the next event. And it's actually a pretty, I think, clever twist on the Crisis use, right?
Yeah.
Of being all of the DC events. And this is Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah.
Having to do the Sanctuary. Heroes in Crisis #1 coming in September. The Clay Man.
Yeah, there's that cover, like, pull the cover up because that's what I think is really cool. There's a whole bunch of there's little clues in there too.
Yeah.
And there's these guys in white robes. I don't know who they are.
And they're all wearing those golden masks, and it looks like that's what Superman's holding.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
And one of those robes, but it's all bloody. So
I wonder if
something
that's
goes awry.
What they wear when they're there, or because I thought it was Psycho Pirate's mask. That's what it looked like. To me.
It totally could look like. But you know, the other thing that sticks out to me is on the left-hand side there, you have Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Mm-hmm.
Who's over there on the right with the wings? Just another Thanagarian?
On the right, I thought that was Zuriel from the Grant Morrison Justice
That's
League,
cool.
which we haven't seen him in a bit, but he looks a little different It could be another guy. Like
Catwoman's back in the back.
Yeah, she's in the back. Oh, that's right. And then there's a guy. There's Captain Adam back there. Alfred's just hanging out.
Yeah, Alfred's way back there.
With
probably
Robin. Looks like Robin's next to him, but not. It looks like a different Robin because it's not.
Firestorm's back there.
Because there's another Robin up front. You got Kite Man to the far left of Barda, right behind Batgirl.
Oh,
like he's pretty prominent, so he's probably there.
He's experienced some trauma, like when you go through the War of Jokes and Riddles and stuff like that.
So you got Hal Jordan. So one of the things that's interesting is Nightwing and Starfire. Like,
are they bringing them like that?
Well, are they bringing them back? And like, there must be some kind of loss. And then you got Booster Gold up front.
And as you mentioned, Big Barda, scot-free.
Yeah.
In the mix with everybody else.
So yeah, like, well,
this
obviously
is going to be after Mr. Miracle finishes up.
Yeah, so it makes me feel like, oh, is all this stuff in continuity then? Like whatever happened in the Mr. Miracle?
Well, what I've read, like, I mean, it's a little off topic, but Mr. Miracle, someone asked him about it being in continuity or in whatever, set in the main timeline or whatever.
Yeah.
And he said it absolutely is in the main timeline, the main universe, and in continuity. But the question is maybe when.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, dang, dude, that's so good.
When? I don't know. We got, who else we got in here? We got Speedy, we got Dr. Fate, Phantom Stranger. Looks like Nuklon in the back or Steel. I can't tell.
Well, I mean, obviously you have up front, you have the DC Trinity, right?
Yeah.
So Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. But then you also have Harley Quinn and Booster Gold are actually even more front and center.
So Harley Quinn, like I mentioned, I don't like that she's like front and center just because, I don't know. She seems goofy to me. Like, why do we have this villain way up front? But she's a psychiatrist. So maybe she has a role there. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 7-issue miniseries starting in September.
Yeah.
Announced today. And I've really loved when Clayman has had like his story arcs on Batman and stuff like that. And I think it's just really solid work with him and Tom King working together. So I'm really excited. I would say my favorite Batman issue last year was probably one that Tom King and Clayman did together. So,
which one was the Super Friends?
The Super Friends, yeah.
Both of the issues they did together were really good.
So it's really cool, and I think like Tom King's like intent with this would just be really cool. I'll read part of what he was talking about. He says, I feel like I'm a part of a rolling generation of people who spent their 20s overseas fighting terrorism. Millions of people cycle through that machine and come home to America, and I think that sort of experience of violence is shaping who we are as a culture and as a country. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that experience, the experience of what violence can do to a person, to a community, to a nation, to a world. And then he goes on to say, if I could do anything to the DCU, it would be to bring a sense of community of superheroes and people. I feel a duty to talk about what violence does to a society through the comics I'm creating.
Yeah, I think people. That's
awesome.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that is an honest kind of approach to like, hey, here's something I dealt with, and here's something I know people my age are dealing with, and let's craft a story around it. I think people don't know like his background. We were just watching his little like interview on what was it, Late Night with Seth Meyers.
Yeah,
where he talks about it. He's like, oh yeah, I was in the CIA.
CIA, yeah, for sure.
And so it's kind of an interesting story that he has. If you look him up, he has a cool background, and he did some cool stuff. And so check that out. If you go on YouTube, you can find it. Like there's the whole segments there. But
to still have action, to still have a very comic book type story and heroes and stuff, kind of larger than life. But then to say, hey, even in this, like Batman goes out and fights like 5 guys at least a night, right? And he's punching people in the face every day. And to say that's not taking a toll on who he is as a person isn't being completely honest. And I think it's just enough grounding, honestly. Like, you don't want to ground things completely because then you have to explain everything, and that's where things kind of fall apart.
Yeah.
But I think when you bring enough of it at an angle like this, where it's just enough of reality to kind of say like, oh, yeah, what about that?
Yeah.
And then that brings intrigue, that brings interest for people to check in, and I'm really looking forward to it because Booster Gold in this last before this last issue of Batman, like he had a few issues in that story arc where you have like where like something's not right, like he's not okay. Yeah, and to have that go into something like sweet, like this is, and again, like for a character that's as carefree as Booster Gold usually is, to kind of take something and examine it in a new light, I think that's really interesting, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I can't wait. I like some more Tom King.
Yes.
Put Tom King on every book.
No.
I'm just kidding. Put him on Superman because I ain't liking that Brian Michael Bendis Superman right now.
Give it a shot, man.
I'm 3 issues in. I've given it some shots.
Well,
I'm
you
gonna finish it up.
End up loving Justice League No Justice, but Justice League #1 was a different story.
Yeah. Okay. So I think
segues.
Are we finished? So yeah, we finished.
That's what we have for news.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, let's segue into smelling all them floppies, Matt Ritchie.
Indeed. So you want to start with Justice League #1? Since that was last week, we didn't record last week.
Yeah, we had our special.
We definitely read Justice League #1 last week.
Yeah, we definitely read it a few times, and so yeah, that's a. Man, I almost want to go page by page because there's so many cool
there's so many
good little Easter eggs. So just from the get go, you see the Justice League from the future, from the Justice League 1,000,000 event that Grant Morrison did in '99, and I'm like, oh crap! There's the Hour Man and there's Superman. Oh dude, and then you get I forget who those guys. I think that's one of the Kuns. He's like it's like an alien race, and then you get Commandy, which that was kind of cool seeing Commandy there. And then you get these.
So you're seeing all these different eras that have the same event kind of happening.
Yeah, and so then you get this really great shot of the Hall of Justice, which just makes me feel. Phew, you hear that sound, dun 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 dun. If you listen to our theme song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and that cool little lock, dude, that opening page is just so cool.
Yeah. So it's just a nice setup. Even. I typically don't like Batman in goofy robot suits unless it's from the movie BVS because that one looks good. I was kind of oh, that looks kind of stupid, but I'll go with it. And I actually liked seeing the Terrifics in there. It's like seeing other teams team up with the Justice League.
You're seeing a lot of different people on the Justice League, all being linked and led by John Jones.
So, okay, real quick, we're not going to talk about it, but I did read the Titans special. And part of that is setting up the Titans as a Justice League liaison team. So they're now part of it. They have their own place in the Hall of Justice to meet. They're going to be resourced by them, and they'll go on special missions when needed. Mm-hmm. So just kind of setting that up, I wonder if the Terrifics are a part of that as well.
Having Hawkman and Hawkgirl as part of the action is pretty cool.
Yeah, Adam Strange's in there. So just a whole bunch of really cool stuff, man. And I like having John Jones as this kind of field commander.
Yep.
And I kind of like the whole joke they had with the Batman voice. I'm Batman.
Oh, yeah. And everyone's talking about
yeah.
Dude, the banter between all the different people of the team and stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Really good. And have Martian Manhunter obviously be the straight man in that and just kind of be serious, Man, and then he just turns into this badass Martian dragon.
That was cool.
Ugh,
yeah, that was
so cool.
Yeah, but he still has a little strap on.
That whole opening scene is really incredible, and I think really sets up the dynamic of the teams. Mm-hmm. Shows that they're in the midst of something, working hard. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like this slow setup, which honestly, Scott Snyder can fall into sometimes.
Yeah. So
where he really eases into it, and this is just dropping you straight into the middle of a mission. You get that awesome big old panel of Martian Manhunter being a dragon heading out, and then we cut to Vandal Savage.
Yeah. So
pretty good choice when it comes to
having Vandal Savage a part of this first issue is good because he's kind of a classic Justice League / DC Comics villain. So it's good. He's
one of the ones that you would think of when you think of who do all these guys have to fight? Vandal Savage.
Yeah, well, almost like a big bad, and then he's kind of the minor, because when Lex Luthor kind of just rolls up.
Well, yeah, and he talks about. I love how the end of that page, by the way, before Lex Luthor rolls up, he talks about our new Injustice gang.
Yeah,
and I love. He's like, nah.
Yeah. You know what? And I've always preferred Legion of Doom over Injustice Gang. Injustice Gang just sounds kind of whatever.
Yeah, totally.
And then that whole part where Joker's like, "Watch your mouth," because he's a damn Legion. Here's what I did like. The shape of the Hall of Justice is a Martian marking of what the word justice would mean. I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah.
That was it was such a cool pool.
Mm-hmm.
And
totally.
I'm like, okay, I like that. And then I don't know if I'm missing it, but there's kind of this similar like shape for the Legion of Doom. I don't know if that's like the Martian version of like Doom or whatever, because I couldn't find it through it. There was some crazy stuff going on, like seeing John Jones' like family get burned up and murdered, like was pretty hard.
That image of his daughter is just heartbreaking.
Yeah, and so, but you do kind of see on the last page behind Lex Luthor is this red like laser shape of the Legion of Doom like headquarters logo.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that is a Martian symbol of Doom or whatever. But
yeah, because you're not setting justice and injustice against each other, but justice and Doom.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So this whole comic was really cool. It was definitely way better than the lead up miniseries. We probably didn't. I don't even think we needed that miniseries, to be honest. But they could have done a 1-issue special, and they could have compressed a lot of that into like 80 pages, I think. But that's just my opinion. There was a part in this comic where I'm like, did he just straight up like murder Adam Strange? Like he's choking the crap out of him like towards the end of the comic, and I don't see how that like he went from like smashing Vandal Savage's face with the rock to the next time you see Lex Luthor, he's destroying Adam Strange. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where they're showing like scenes of things to come almost.
Oh, okay.
It seems like another page of like previews almost.
Yeah. But
man, him taking out Vandal Savage like that?
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Like to see it's funny because you knew we needed to position Lex Luthor back into the villain role.
Yeah.
But it's more of a curiosity of how does that happen? And it seems like, okay, I can believe this because he still believes he's the hero.
Yeah.
And that he's saving people. But to have that psycho boardroom.
Yeah.
It's so awesome, dude. To have this meeting place and it's a cool use of Martian Manhunter's powers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see how the dynamic of the Legion of Doom works out, honestly. Just with Gorilla Grodd and Sinestro and the Joker and Cheetah and Black Manta, like, I don't know. How do they work together? How are they going to work together? It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, we've seen it before. Joker is the one, well, no pun intended, like wild card. Like he's not going to work well with A-Team. Legion of Doom. True. He typically isn't the Legion of Doom. It's usually like the Riddler and like if you go from the classic like Super Friends
stuff. Yeah,
it's kind of Batman heavy because it's Scarecrow and Poison Ivy and Riddler, and so I would have rather seen the Riddler in there, but whatever. I'll go with it.
I also liked the Sinestro's costume is the old blue one.
Yeah, he's not in his his Sinestro core suit. So yeah, man, Justice League #1, dude. I'm giving it a gotta go. It's such a great comic, man.
It's classic comics.
It's classic. Yeah,
and I have to say also Jim Cheung.
Yeah,
I want to say really, really good stuff.
Yeah,
all of the layouts of everything. I felt like every comic book artist has to like get a little iffy on how detailed their art is depending on how much they're doing and how much is going on. I feel like he found that balance really well.
Yeah.
And then went super, super detailed on some of the more up close stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
like, just the way he did it, the colors were fantastic. Let me look at Tomo Mori. So the colors, really, really good stuff. I'm excited to see Jorge Jimenez on the next issue.
Oh, is he doing all the interiors on that next one?
I think so. It seems like they're gonna alternate between the two of them, which sounds great. In this first, if this first book is any indication, I think it's really great.
We'll see.
Art-wise, story, pacing, character work, all of it was really engaging, really dynamic, and I would agree it's a gotta go.
Yeah, there's like just even going through it. There's that great shot of like John Stewart, like ready, all lock and loaded, like with this crazy Green Lantern construct gun.
Yeah.
And Batman's like, I called him. He's got like that special bullet, like he's just ready to like, he's like on guard. So I just love like the depth of the Justice League, like how far it reaches and how it's not just these are the core 7, but they reach out to who's needed and who needs to be there. So.
Yeah, you saw it reach out to all these different people, but then you also in those first few cells, like on that first page, right, that we were talking about the different groups and like and stuff like that, is it's also reaching across like all these different time frames too. So it just feels very expansive, very big.
Yeah.
Which you want for a Justice League book, and I think it delivers on a new direction for the Justice League that I think we both agreed coming out of that first part of Rebirth is needed. So I'm for it.
Yeah, it's good. So let's move on to Mr. Miracle number 9.
Yes.
Oh man.
All right.
I love this comic,
Mr.
dude.
Miracle.
I got that variant Mitch Gerads cover, and man, I love it, dude. It's both covers are great, but there's something cool about this like crazy torture suicide machine that he's in, and it's a peace sign. Like, it's really good.
The colors are great. You have that kind of like glitching kind of effect on the art, like he's been doing throughout. Mm-hmm. Really, really good cover. One of my favorite covers, probably, of any of the comics that we got this week.
Yeah, definitely. It's the cover. It's the cover of the week, and
it's another one of those books where he sticks to the whole 9-panel grid. Too, which hasn't been every issue, but he's done that a few times. Mm-hmm. Man, this book just goes all over the place in the best way.
Yeah,
like this issue specifically, but this series in general. Mm-hmm. So you have like moments that it's like really funny. You have these moments that are just really kind of
it borderlines absurd to like everyday. I don't know.
Yeah, absurd, everyday, really funny, really dark. Like there's a few things like that happen. And you're like, whoa, okay, that's really gnarly, you know. And it all kind of coexists in this book that. It just makes sense. It works. I mean, it's hard to go into the specifics, honestly, when so much is so good. What any specific stuff stick out to you other than Barda telling Light Ray to shut the F up?
That was funny.
That's pretty great.
I kind of like that they're sitting at this table making their like kind of dealings. You have all these like new gods holding the table up. Like it just seems super cruel for no reason. Like, and they're meeting, and it's not even addressed. There's one point, where, Calback turns on them, but it just seems very like, this is just how business dealings go. And these guys are like, there's one guy there. I think his name is Fastback. He's a new guy down there in the middle of the table. I'm like, oh, yeah. I just remember him from a Who's Who comic, but I don't know who the Shakespearean dude is. But
he was in one of the other ones. He was a champion they sent in to duel like someone else.
I'm like, is that a Loogie He Hawks?
Yes.
Is that what that is? Okay. I was like, that's a weird P.
And it just follows it all the way down
onto
whoever that prisoner is down
there. Split. So
it's crazy, man.
Yeah. I like Calback's glasses he brings out. It's all these fun little
It's such a weird little detail.
Yeah. And then I don't want to spoil the twist, not the twist, but like the kind of the revelation towards the end. You're like, oh dang! Like you can have peace, but here's what peace will cost you.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
So good. Story wise, really good. Dialogue, man. Tom King knows how to weave a yarn.
Yeah.
Here. He just knows.
I kind of want to go back to the first issue, like. He commits suicide in the first issue, remember? Mm-hmm. So I'm still like, I forgot. I'm like, is this a dream? But now we know, is it the future or the past? Because we were just kind of talking about the crisis center thing.
Right.
He's there on that cover. So, okay, does it ruin this story, or is this in the future? Like, what is this,
Don't know, man.
I don't know.
You know what I do know?
It's not important.
This art, Mitch Gerads, so good. Everything just feels like really claustrophobic in these 9 panels on the pages. But even more so than that, man, the colors that he uses, and that's actually Mitch Gerads doing the colors. Incredible. You have this real short, just 2-page section where Scott and Barda are talking. Yeah. And it's a lot of like just dark, like reds and pinks, like all together. And it's fantastic. Yeah, it's just really striking. I love it so much.
It's a great looking book, dude. I just love this cover. Like earlier, I spilled some beer and I just wiped it right off. It's just really slick. It's just a nice. This whole thing is quality. The part towards the end where him and Barter are looking at each other in the mirror and like they're just like burnt. I'm like, what is that? Is that how they truly are seeing each other, or was it just this like?
I don't know, because it's the mirror of goodness or whatever.
Yeah,
like, it's
just showing who they truly are.
I need to look up. Honestly, I don't know if that's like a thing.
Yeah, and then I love when they're in like the apocalypse baths or whatever the heck those things are. I forget what they were calling them.
Yeah, the fire lake. Or
the fire lake. It was just like, hey, yeah, come on, it's our last day. Jump in. Like it's just really. I just like, again, I like seeing them connect just as husband and wife, just kind of hanging out and. While we're here, let's do it for old time's sake. Because we forget they were raised here, but now they're on Earth, living like that Earth life. But like that Earth life. And they have that apocalypse life. And then, so yeah, so much fun stuff. I really, really enjoyed it. And finally we see Darkseid show up.
Oh man.
Yeah. So.
Darkseid is,
dude. So
I still don't know where this book is going, and I love it so much.
I know it makes me nervous for like we have 3 issues left. Like, where's it going?
Yeah.
It's 12. Don't disappoint me.
But here's the thing. I've also read Omega Men.
Yeah.
By Tom King.
That's true.
Also read The Vision by Tom King.
Great.
You just finished that recently,
I just finished it last week. Yeah.
Oh man, and here's the thing. Both of those nailed it. Like so good.
That gives me hope.
Yeah.
Gives me hope.
And if nothing else, the journey has been really great.
Art's great. Like, great art will save it for me. Like, we talked about Batman White Knight. I think the art in there is great. I don't think the last issue landed for me.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because the book was so good. Like, overall, like, the art kind of saves it for me. And it has to be a good combo of art and story for it to be fantastic. Like, oh, man, this comic's the best thing ever, But it definitely... I'm loving this book.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be the number one. I'm just spoiling like our episode in like January. This is book of the year right here. Unless something else comes out, you're like,
I'd be really surprised if something knocks it off that spot. Yeah,
that's just such a good comic, dude.
I mean, maybe if Justice League keeps going the way it is, that could be a contender.
I don't know,
dude. So what would you rate this then, Justin?
I'm just gonna say it's a let's go. It's good. It's a good comic, dude.
Yeah.
If you're not picking up Mr. Miracle, I feel like we say it all the time. You definitely should. If you love comics, if you love this medium, even if you don't like Tom King, if you're like, oh man, I hate Tom King's Batman. Okay, fine. Put that to the side. This comic is so good, and it's kind of. I feel like this is. It reminds me of like high school, like the kids that hated comics, but you're like, oh, there's that one really weird girl. It's kind of hot, and she likes The Cure. She'll probably read Sandman comics.
That's so funny.
Like you can give this to that person. Like, hey, they don't love the idea of comics because they think of like Superman in his red shorts.
Right.
Give them Mr. Miracle, and it's like this is different. This is a little. It almost feels like kind of counterculture to everything in comics.
Yeah, and it's taking a character whose costume is like bright and like garish. Out there and like garish, and just making everything super sad and pretty dark, but in a really compelling way. Like this was another issue. I don't know if there's been an issue that I haven't loved.
Yeah,
but I've probably vacillated between Let's Go and Gotta Go's for this series. I think this issue is another Gotta Go for me, man.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think there's something about it that's just really, really compelling, and it feels like it moves the narrative forward in a way. I don't know, like I said, like the 9-panel grid, the way that everything feels so claustrophobic, even in the way that the buildings and everything is drawn. It was just really compelling to me, and I still don't know exactly what's going on. But I feel like this is like that awesome TV show that you're like telling people like, no, like give it a chance, like it's really good, even though it would be like,
but it's not.
I would say this one's got to go.
All right. That's good.
All right. What we got next?
I will support that decision. Okay, so next we have Hawkman. Number one with a bullet. So I've been looking forward to this book because I love Hawkman. I like Brian Hitch as a penciler. Robert Venditti. I'm kind of off and on. I didn't love his Green Lantern. When he came on in New 52, it didn't grab me.
Yeah.
A lot of people did.
I could hear you on that.
I mean, he's been at DC since like 2011, so he's been a pretty, like regular part of the books they've been putting out. And so I didn't hate this book. I liked it. So we'll get to ratings later. I thought the art was beautiful. It makes me nervous that Hitch is not going to stay on. I didn't.
What makes you think that? Just because it's so
he just doesn't.
like,
He
detailed?
doesn't. He doesn't last.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Bummer.
we'll probably go 4 issues, and then we'll get a different person illustrating.
Chris Samney,
Ryan Sook, who's someone like, and I think Ryan Sook did the Hawkman book before New 52.
Okay.
But I didn't like his wings sucking into his back. I don't know. I feel like that's from the TV show, and I don't think I've ever seen it anywhere else, and so I'm not a big fan of that part. That part in the in the beginning, part where he's going into the Gorilla City, like, the depths of this area. I really like that part of it. This Indiana Jones.
Yes.
I like when
much.
they dig into that part of it. It felt very weird though. Like, he sucks his wings in, and then there's another scene. You turn the page, and his wings are back on. That didn't flow well to me.
Okay.
But
it seemed like mostly when he was underwater that happened.
So
And once he was out, I love that. Like, it's not just Indiana Jones-ish, which is awesome in itself.
Yeah.
But it's in a way that ties into pre-existing DCU mythology.
Yeah.
So you know about Gorilla City and all those different things. It's like, oh, but you didn't know about this other. You know what I mean? Like,
these flying, the
like,
monkey.
Dude, that's freaking cool.
The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
sect
and so
of
I think to
Gorilla
have
City.
that was really cool. I think here's the thing: when I look for a Hawkman story, that I think each character you have, like, what are the kind of the checklist to make this feel like this is this character, right? I think Hawkman, you have the mace, you have the wings, you have the archaeology, Indiana Jones part of it, and you have weird, convoluted backstory connections. I think this had all of those to me, and so it felt like a perfectly acceptable, maybe slightly more than acceptable, I would say good, not great, first issue for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm interested still.
Yeah. I like this Yanis guy, and I like his story about, like, hey, yeah, the Hawks helped my grandparents in the war, and they're like, they said they were like angels, and they're like, was it Azrael or was it the Metatron? I like all that. Him having someone to I just like supporting cast. So already I'm like, okay, I like this supporting cast guy. Don't kill him. Let him be the boat guy. He picks him up and whatever. I like him hanging out. Was it Xanadu he met up with?
Madame Xanadu.
Yeah. So that was cool having him like go check her out and them like have this conversation. She slices his hand. At that point, I thought he'd at least go, because I was like, wait, why are they bleeding? So some of it read well. Read weird. The flow was weird.
Okay. On
some of it, not that I needed him to scream, but it was like she touches his hand and then he's bleeding. Like, there could have been like why do you got to cut my hand? It's just certain things I read into it. Like,
okay, I didn't catch that as much.
Yeah, is he just comfortable with that? And
what I love though is what followed that 2-page spread.
Okay, yeah,
all
that
these
was
different
cool.
Versions of it. Here's where it really got me interested. Before I was like, yeah, this is a character. I think he's kind of. I mean, maybe it's not a great comparison. He's like Han Solo-ish. He's like this kind of like, hey, like, I'm this like rogue kind of like adventurous guy where stuff doesn't always go. You know what I mean? Because even when he was trying to escape the giant gorilla statue thing, he was like, well, at least you don't have wings.
Yeah.
Like, and so I think it's good to have those moments. But here is where we have, because if you don't know about Hawkman, you don't know that he has several backstories that have been told over his history. And Jeff Johns, I feel like, was the first person to really kind of take like, here's how these can fit together.
Yeah.
This, I feel like, is even more freeing for the future, but also more simple.
He can just soar. He can soar like a bird now.
Stop. Stop it, dude. No, but I think to say like the commonly held belief is like, yeah, he goes through time. Like he's been reincarnated across time. But to have this open up, all of a sudden he's like this realization of like, I've not just been reincarnated across time, but also across space.
Yeah.
And so you have a Kryptonian version of him. You have the Thanagarian version of him. You have all of his Earth lives. You have these different things. And for me, I don't know. I really liked that a lot, and I think it opens up some really interesting storytelling possibilities.
There's some fun stuff there. There's like a crazy like Rocketeer version of Hawkman in there towards the bottom. You have the Hawk World, the kind of the Tim Truman version.
Yeah, you have that classic JSA look.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, I didn't see the '90s version of them in here, so that was interesting. You kind of do see the Jeff Johns version back there. You see the Kingdom Come version at the top. You see, Prince Khufu right there in the middle.
Yep.
So yeah, it was really cool. I like this kind of like there's like a medieval version of them there. So
that was lots of different.
That had
ones.
to be really fun. Yeah, you have these Golden Age version. You have it looks like Justice Riders version of them as well. So so many cool like spots. I kind of like the Hawkman helmet without the ears, the ear wings. And that's only that was kind of Golden Age. And then again, I talked about the Hawk World, the Tim Truman book. I like that helmet.
Okay.
But,
which one's that on this spread?
It's to the far left. It's like he has the non-feathered wings. Space Cop.
Oh yeah.
Qatar Hole of Thanagar. Yeah. I like the non-winged helmet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like the wings on the helmet.
Yeah. I don't mind them. I think if I had
It's
a preference,
look.
if I was doing a movie,
and then having that move to like this vision of what could be, what it looks like the Omega Titans, honestly, a little bit, but with wings.
Yeah, it does.
And so I think you do what a number one issue has to do. You set up who this character is. You set up the intrigue into the history of like, hey, you don't remember everything correctly, and then you have like, here's your goal and what you have to prevent in the future. It's what a number one issue needs to do, and for me, that variant cover,
yes,
Stjepan Sevic.
Yeah,
I want to say that's my cover of the week. Dude. It's just so
that's
good.
Your cover of the week.
Cover of the week.
Okay, so here's what I'll say about that cover because I have that same cover. I love that cover. If I had a grievance with this comic, it is that Hawkman does not feel like that Hawkman on that Hawkman looks like I'm gonna freaking battle your face and enjoy it, and then I'm gonna go look for some some artifacts. He just looks like he's ready to handle some business.
Totally.
I kind of wish Hawkman had a little more of that. Like you said, Han Solo. I don't feel like he was Han Solo to me. Okay. But I can probably go back and read that now that you said that, and that's.
I mean, I would go Indiana Jones because it was the same kind of thing.
Yeah, Harrison Ford.
But also, like where he kind of seems like he has everything under control, and then something goes wrong and he has to improvise. It seems like you get that.
I didn't get that vibe, but I'm glad you did because maybe I read it wrong, and so I'm gonna go in with the next issue with that in my headspace because, I want Hawkman to have. I don't want him to be this boring guy. Just boring guy. Yeah. I'm an archaeologist. Not that archaeologists are boring because they're not, but I just don't want him to be this generic superhero guy. I want him to have some type of personality, and I didn't feel like he had personality as I read it.
Right.
I don't know if that rings true for you, but it rang true for me.
Maybe he could have had stronger personality. Like I'll give you that. I don't think he lacked personality in my reading of it.
Okay.
But I would give this book a let's go. Like I liked it.
Okay, I'm just gonna give it a go.
Okay.
And that's hard because I love Hawkman. Like Hawkman's one of my favorites. I just like his look.
You have high standards, man.
I do have high standards, and I didn't love all the art, and I'm being cautious in it. I feel like there's gonna
you don't want to commit. You're heartbroken.
I don't want my heart broken
after Savage Hawkman.
Oh man. I knew going into Savage Hawkman that it wasn't going to be good. I just tried. You always try for things you love. You're like, oh, maybe it'll be good, right? Yeah,
sure. All right, so that's Hawkman number one.
Yeah, Hawkman number one. So yeah, I give it a go. You gave it a let's go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we go, dude.
And to round out my other book that I got and I have not finished reading it.
Do it.
$6.
Yeah. Okay. Can I?
Lots of pages.
Let's talk about this first. And I just noticed this. Marvel freaking on these new number ones they're making these things $6, dude. And I don't know why they're $6. There's not extra page count, is there?
I'm pretty sure there's extra pages in this.
Because, okay, first off, Amazing Spider-Man 800, that was freaking $10. Way too much money.
Right.
So Avengers number one, $6. I'm trying to think what I got last week. There was a comic, it was $6. I'm like, why the heck was this so expensive? And then there's Black Panther, which I just read. In space, $6.
Yeah.
Thor, $6. What is this ruse?
These extra size.
What is this ruse?
Number ones. Yeah, I don't know, man.
It stinks,
I will say this,
and I don't like it.
Excuse me. What I've read of this Thor #1 so far, I really, really like it.
Okay.
I haven't read any Thor books, maybe ever, but definitely in a long time.
Okay.
And I thought, hey, #1, Jason Aaron. He seemed like a cool guy when we saw him at Comic-Con Revolution last month. I'll check it out. And, man, it's good.
Yeah.
I really, really like it so far. So
good.
I'll keep you guys posted on reading maybe next week. But
it looks... And I flipped through it, and I was like, dude, $6.
It's a lot.
Just can't do that.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I also picked up, so we can get some Marvel in here, The Punisher 226, and it's got this cool shot of Baron Zemo on the front with his cool mask that he didn't have in Age of Ultron. Civil War. And he's pulling off the War Machine faceplate. And I haven't read it yet because I got stuff going on. But yeah, I'm excited to read. I really love this book, dude. Liking it.
Yes.
It's good stuff.
All right.
So other than that,
comics. It's been a good comics couple weeks, man.
Yeah, it was. We didn't talk about it last week. Killer Be Killed 19 came out, and hey, I did some research and found out that book ends next month. So
all right, at 20 issues.
At 20 issues.
All
so
right.
there you go.
I'll have to do some catching up.
Yeah. So I brought that stack for you.
Yeah.
So,
we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Well, let's talk about it when the last one comes out. Yeah, next month when the last one comes out.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one to wrap up, actually, because I've been kind of going, man, it's really heavy. Let's just wrap this book up,
yeah.
dude.
I need a break.
I don't know if I can do this story forever, and so,
totally.
So yeah, let's get some other stuff out there. So, there you go, Matt. How you feeling about comics, dude?
Oh, dude, I need to say real quick. Our rad friend Delon let me borrow the first 2 issues of Skyward.
Freaking
from
Delon.
Image.
Yeah.
And it's really good.
All right.
The art's really great. It feels really fun.
He got that last week. It came out last week, right?
Intriguing story.
Tell us about
it. So you start off this book with this family going through and experiencing something called G Day is what they end up calling it. And Earth, from that moment on, doesn't have gravity anymore, and so it kind of changes everything of how everyone lives. And then you skip 20 years, and this girl that was a baby at that time is now 20 years old and making her way through that and trying to figure out kind of your typical, like, I don't want to be stuck in the city. I want to travel and see the world, and my dad's crazy and doesn't understand, but he knows something about why things happened and thinks he can fix it, but you don't know what. And I don't know. So Skyward is a let's go for me. I've been really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to borrowing more issues from Delon.
Cool. We should all borrow more from Delon. Not just comics, but
just in life.
Just in life.
Just in our view.
Delon's nuggets. Again, I will tell you.
Delon's nuggets.
He needs to have his own little section on the show called Delon's Nuggets. I called him today.
Stupid
I was like,
dog and Delon's Nuggets.
There you go. I called him with my Macho Man Randy Savage impression and begged him that he needed to come on the show. I'm going to put Delon on blast now. You know why he didn't come on the show to talk about comics? He said he went to a baby's gender reveal party. You can't get any more anti-comics than that. I'm just saying.
That's not anti-comics.
That is
we
anti-comics.
Need to set those against each other, dude.
Yes, it is.
No.
Come on, dude. We're all going to find out the baby is a boy or a girl at some point, right? But today we needed some Delon Anderson. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like we did a pretty good job with that.
I think a little Delon goes a long way.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Justin.
Yeah, there we go. I'm just saying, sometimes I want to hear that voice.
Delon, as you listen to this, I just want you to know I affirm your decision to be... Probably this is a choice to be a good husband in this moment.
Yeah, you're right.
Dude.
You're
Don't you worry
right.
about that.
You're definitely right.
Comics will be here.
Yeah.
When you're ready to get back here.
Yeah. We're waiting for you, dude. FYI. And guess what? We're both boys. So... There you go.
Indeed.
No reveal needed. We're just letting you know. So, anyways, Matt, how can people hit you up on the socials?
You can find me on
if someone wants to invite you to maybe a gender reveal, how can they hit you up?
That'd be Delon Anderson. No, I'm at Matt Ritchie on Twitter.
Cool. You can find me at J_Rocka. You can find the show on Instagram and Twitter at Let's Go Comic Show. Maybe check out the Instagram. You can follow us and find out what will be the cover of the week.
Duke it out.
Duke it out. Just like Hawkman and his many selves. He's going to fight himself. See what happens. Fight himself in the face. You can do that. You can go to the website at www.letsgocast.com where you can find this excellent show and the Let's Go podcast and the Start Today podcast. So check those shows out.
Also excellent shows.
Also excellent shows. Heck yes, they are. Go to the tab up top, though, and click on that little merch thing and go, ooh, I'm going to get a shirt. Or even better yet, you can get a phone case with the Let's Go podcast logo on it. Or some stickers. You want to do that? But my favorite, Matt, I always bring it up, is the pillow. Pillows are nice and they're cuddly, and I hope that someone buys one. Like our friend Justin Pardee, when he listens to our show at nighttime.
Like a special listening pillow.
Oh, it's a listening pillow, and it's like you're snuggling with me and Matt. Like, oh, this pillow is cuddly and soft, just like Matt.
Just like Justin.
And Justin. Oh. I think you're cuddly, and you think I'm cuddly. So there we go. Yeah. Sounds.
I have no proof.
No proof?
No verification for this.
But you're just guessing. Sometimes people just guess. They're assuming. Yeah. I assume you're cuddly. Hey. So, and if you're like, hey, well, it's a little tight this week because I had to buy all these stupid Marvel #1 books that were $6, just go to the iTunes store, the podcast store, and go, I'm just going to leave a review for these guys because I love them. 5 stars. So click 5 stars. But then also leave some sentences. Leave 3 sentences. Leave a limerick. That would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Just some type of a sonnet or a poem of some type, a haiku.
Yeah.
Dude, the first person to leave us a haiku review is going to get some free comics. Let me tell you, because I got some.
Nice.
Matt, I didn't tell you. I went through my garage the other day, and I found some stuff. Like, there's some definite giveaways. And I'm going to give a preview to an upcoming show.
Oh.
We are going to open up a copy of Adventures of Superman 500 and open that sucker up because I forget what's inside that white bag, and we're going to do it. We're going to do an unboxing of something that came out 20 years ago.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And we'll open up your old fish box and all that stuff. We'll have some fun stuff. So anyways, that being said, my name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.